Norway is the home of many things. It is the home of the paperclip, the scream, and of course the Vikings. But how did this Nordic nation get its name? Norway in Norwegian actually has a couple names. Norwegian is a pretty interesting language because when written it has two different forms, bokmål and nynorsk. From what I can gather, these two written forms of Norwegian can be used pretty interchangeably, though bokmål is far more popular. Bokmål is based on written Danish and means book language, while nynorsk means New Norse and was based on all the dialects of the country. But anyway, in bokmål the country is called Norge, and in nynorsk it is called Norweg. Yep, these two variations, and the main difference in the name is that two letters are the opposite ways round. Yet these two names and its English name of Norway all come from the same word, and forgive me as I have no idea how to pronounce these. Initially the name came from the Old Norse Norwegen, which turned into the Old English Norweg. While it may not be as obvious as say the country of South Africa, Norway is named after its location. It's just not called something as obvious as North Europe or anything. The name translates to something along the lines of North Way, or a way leading to the north, as the land was northern to the Anglo-Saxons, and this is how they refer to the western coastline of the country. Somewhat of interest in the naming of Norway is Ofela. We know very little of this man, and the only thing we have to prove his existence come from his travel writings, which were given to King Alfred of Wessex in around 890 CE. Ofela was a Viking seafarer and is even sometimes referred to as the first North Norwegian man, as some big archaeological findings have found evidence that he could have resided in the north of Norway, and that in his writings he said he lived northmost of all the Norwegians. Yet regardless of where he lived, he is important to this story, as the writings the King of Wessex received from him explaining that he lived northmost of all the Norwegians is our earliest known written source of the name Norway. Yet there's also a second theory as to how Norway got its name, and that's that the Nor in its name doesn't mean north, but rather it means narrow in relation to the narrow waterways and fjords of the country. I mean, personally looking at it, the country itself is pretty narrow, and the country is pretty northern. While the north etymology is the traditional long-standing idea, and this narrow etymology is the new upstart idea, there is definitely a valid argument for both of these ideas as to where the country of Norway got its name. The country of Norway was suggested by David LEIVA over on Patron, and thanks to their suggestion, they will now be honoured as Name Explained's patron saint of Norway. If you want to become a Name Explained patron saint, then why not support the channel over on Patron from just $1 and up, and suggest the country for the next patron saint video. And of course, thank you to all my amazing patrons. These extra Tuesday videos wouldn't exist without you. There's a chance to become a Name Explained patron saint every week, so if you're not supporting the channel in the best way possible already, then now is the best time too. Thank you if you're already supporting the channel, and thank you if you decide to donate in the future.